Rebounded by the freshman, J.T. Thor.
This is the key to the game right here. Transition defense. It leveled out Cooper a little bit, but it's a wide open three. That's pretty good. That's how Auburn wants to play. LSU's got to corral the ball earlier, make it hard for Cooper. Weak side rotation. It's been LSU's issue all year.
LSU averaging 82 points a game, coming off of an impressive defense. Where's Cooper at his best in the half court?
When he's operating, when he comes off these ball screens right here, he can go left and right very well with both hands.
Threes, we got a 1-point game. Auburn 4 of 5 to start this game from the floor.
Nice use of besmirch, though. Well done.
Here's Thor. Shooting night in Auburn's game at Kentucky on Saturday. Hit 5 of 6 from 3. Thomas, turnaround.
Cooper try to make him work on the defensive end. But again, Cam can score in different ways and different finishes. Floaters around the rim, fade away, sometimes off the incorrect foot. He's just a naturally gifted screen
from the floor. Here's Javonte Smart. Offensive board.
I mean, they're crushing them on the glass right now. They're getting shots they want right before the break. Javonte Smart's able to get into the lane and shoot a just wide open runner, which is like a layup for him. Get set, and they're much better defensively when they are set. But when they're in transition and they're trying to offensive rebound out of that, in particular defensive rebound, they have been susceptible all year long.
That was blocked by Milani Wilkinson. His only number in the stat column is, well, nothing. He don't have any.
I want to see him get in more screening action. If they're going to switch him, see certain switches, and they've got to be able to take advantage of different mismatches when they get him. And that's what Bruce Pearl there. I don't know if there was any contact with the ball, but he gets a layup.
He's one of the best scoring guards in the country, and he doesn't rely on the three-pointer to do it. Meanwhile, 0.75 years of experience, youngest in the country, according to Ken Palm's measurements. Here's Thor.
Hasn't developed yet, especially for bigs. They need to work on their legs, work on their core strength, so they can move guys around in the post defensively, offensively, on the glass. That stuff comes with time, your instinct, your experience plays into it. But he's very instinctual, very, very smart player, uses his body really well. The problem for Auburn right now is you got to be able to guard your yard and be able to keep the ball contained. And right now, he'll be able to create problems, get them into rotation, and or just
the lane. And a bump in the open draft prospect. A's across the board. That looks like Dallin's report card.
Oh, man.
8 now for Trenton Watford.
They're doing a great job of playing through him. But again, here comes Cooper the other way. He doesn't make it. Defense and rotation, easy offensive board. But
so Cooper starting to assert himself on the offensive end. Franklin.
That's where Cooper's game has to develop. His ability to make threes, especially at the next level. Not much elevation in it. Very low release point. He's got to be able to make threes consistently at the next. Kind of jumped up and tried to bump him right before the inbounds pass to let him know somebody was there. So he had to come back to the ball, stop his momentum. Also, we're in a break zone. I think guys are starting to get tired of playing at this pace. Oops. Money coming in from the sharps, from the guys with the big wallets like you, Tom Hart. We're piling money on the over for that. I don't know if I say thank you or shut it.
I don't know what I should say. Instagram influencer. That would be totally different. Here's for 26 of LSU's 42.
And they've all scored in manners in which they want to score. They're all playing in their comfort zone. Auburn's taken nothing away or made nothing.
Mark, how does it work for LSU?
Well, because those guys are the other. I mean, they also are the other guys taking the most of the shots. There are only 4 guys averaging double digits. It goes.
Hit 3 threes in this game.
Less is more. Heard that. Got to employ it at some time. They can really score too. That would be an outstanding second-round matchup, but one that Chris Holtman would probably be like, "We got these guys at 8 and 3," but 33.5% of their offense comes from three-point line. That's top 70 in the net.
And Andre Hyatt gets rejected. Chance for Auburn to close the gap here. Cooper on the sprint out.
Advantage you used to have. So sometimes you see both teams able to make runs back and forth because the crowd's less in it, momentum's less in it. That's a huge play. He's got to Cooper
going about 15% of the time. Bruce Pearl was not really fired up about this matchup from a matchup standpoint, especially with LSU.
A guy that can go into the post. It's not necessarily what he wants to do.
Cooper the other way. Teardrop, no. And here's Days.
And he can kind of run the show, but also in the half court here, this is kind of a 1-3-1 and then morphs into a man. This is a good job by Will Wade, honestly, out of the break, trying to
practice with the team for a good chunk of the early part of the season. They'd see him coming on the floor when they were walking off the floor, working with athletic trainers and such. Cooper on the floor again.
But Cooper, to your point, wasn't able to practice, wasn't able to work out, wasn't able to be part of team meetings, and then just to be dropped in, practice a few times. This is not the way Bruce Pearl want to start the half, because a lot of the issues in the first half were just mental mistakes. They've talked about things they want to take away. They want to talk about how to.
Rebounded by Dylan Cardwell. Devin Cambridge picked up his third foul that last trip down for Auburn. Chance for. Thomas, first attempt of the half, performed for LSU back in 2016. That was against Texas A&M, hit 5 threes in that game. Cooper down the paint.
The game, 56%. He ain't gonna win.
Here's Cooper, and he's having a hard time harvesting him. It's going to cost you $120 a sack, Crawfish.
Lemon on a sack for $120. That's a pretty penny.
Well,
you knew it was 40 pounds.
Nope.
But I like how you just went with it, though. Sorry to blow up your spot.
I got blown. It's been a pipeline to the Loveless Village on the Plains. And you can catch the prelims starting at 7 Eastern. Carolina to follow us here. Talk with some of the folks close to the Louisville program. Donald, we don't know who's going to be on the floor.
Game midweek on Wednesday, about a couple hours ago. They added that Northeastern game this past Wednesday. Carolina right now is on the bubble. They are a proud program.
Here's Cooper in traffic again. Tie a school record. They'll clear out for Smart. Able to find Hyatt. Shot clock in single digits. Cam Thomas.
That's a dagger. Good plan, though, by Brady to get down there. Just didn't anticipate one of the greatest scorers of all time.
You don't miss your first 7 if you're Pistol Pete, do you? Partially correct. It is Charles Barkley's birthday. So, as you said, happy birthday, Chuck. His Auburn coach, Sonny Smith, back calling. And Illinois absolutely routing Minnesota on the road today.
Iowa's one of the best closers in the country, but his services in that regard will not be needed. Clearly, he's
Sunu finished with 19 points, 10 boards, and 9 assists. He was that close to messing around. Here's Cooper rejected. The WCC is in a tough spot in terms of seeding for their postseason tournament. Lob and a finish again. Silent C. And he's rolling. Georgetown transfer, I should say, from Baton Rouge. Here's Flanagan now. Think of that decision.
I think it's creative, and I kind of like them trying to solve things outside the box and see, and it's not just that the league play is unequal. Obviously, non-conference who you play is unequal. So if we can't sort it out just by our traditional metrics of win-loss, let's take a look at a deeper dive on who our best teams in, because they're all our producer, Alex Farmartino, and insist that he's be included in this graphic. That's unbelievable that he's crisp and clean again. But I did like the beard.
To score 15 points a game in his first 7 career games. And he really hasn't slowed. He's the kind of guy that's always looking for an edge. Here's Days to offer the screen. And Thomas, what is your favorite spot on the floor to score from? Right? Don't you think most shooters especially, but most scorers have a couple spots that they prefer?
Yep. His mom, military, was in the military, imparted that upon him and start to make things happen offensively. So basically, he's able to stand the challenge, make sure you close out to him. They're still a team that can find themselves in the Final Four. They're still trying to find their footing, and as Leonard Hamilton told me this week, we have to play with the same intensity that we did now.
And gets a bucket 3 seconds later.
Nashville. And it's interesting this tournament in particular because when you look
at where the tornado ripped through the Georgia Dome. And I think that this year, given all the inconsistencies and what is in it for the top seeds and how many teams can play their way into an automatic bid. Finish the tournament to earn their AQ that year. Now, that rule has changed. Now, if you don't finish your tournament,